The views and opinions expressed by guests on this podcast are solely their own and do not represent the position of the host, this show, or any organization either party is affiliated with. All content is shared purely for educational and inspirational purposes. Nothing discussed here constitutes professional advice. Listeners are encouraged to independently verify any information before acting on it. The host is not responsible for any outcomes resulting from guest statements. By listening, you agree that you are solely responsible for how you use the information shared. Welcome to the Tech Sharmit podcast, where technology is not just news, but the roadmap to the future. This is a space where we explore the latest tech trends, AI, startups, gadgets, and the ideas that redefine the way we think. Leading this conversation is Amit Sharma, globally recognized as Tech Sharmit. A technologist from Bharat, Amit brings an Indian perspective to the global technology landscape. With deep technical expertise and strong industry insight, and for his contributions and impact within the global tech community, he has been recognized with several prestigious honors, including Google Developer Expert, Microsoft MVP, IBM Champion, and Planet Mainframe Influencer. Through this podcast, he shares practical knowledge, real-world perspectives, and globally relevant thinking designed to help you stay ahead in an ever-evolving technology landscape. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the Tech Sharmit channel to stay updated with future episodes. And if you're looking to level up your skills, don't forget to explore the Tech Sharmit digital course book in the description box, where you'll find thousands of free programming courses curated to help you grow as a developer. So plug in your headphones and join us as we begin today's episode of the Tech Sharmit podcast.
Okay.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I'm here with another special guest, Abiodun, who is joining us from Nigeria. If I talk about Abayomi, he is a data scientist, machine learning engineer, and Microsoft MVP. His work spans data science, machine learning, Power BI, Microsoft Fabric, enterprise analytics, and technical education. So today in this episode, we will talk about Nigeria's rapidly growing technology ecosystem, transitioning from Power BI to Microsoft Fabric, data modeling best practices, and many more things. But before we get started with all these things, I would like to thank Abiyomi for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us a bit about yourself.
All right. Thanks so much for inviting me to this podcast. My name is Abayomi Abiodun, and I'm a data scientist. I also have some bit of experience in machine learning. I'm also a machine learning engineer. My work span around working in industry and also public speaking. I build tech community, and some of my works are recognized. That's why I became Microsoft's most valuable professional. So my work spans around working in industry, mentoring aspiring tech enthusiasts, and also speaking in different conferences, both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria and in Africa at large. Thanks for inviting me once again.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, Abiyomi. And today we just wanted to know a bit more about your contributions to the IT industry and all the great work that you are doing for the community. But before we talk about your expertise area, I just wanted to know your journey. Maybe it would be better if you can compare it with the Nigeria ecosystem, because we all know that Nigeria's tech ecosystem has grown massively, right, in the last decade. So how did your journey into data and ML completely intersect with that growth of Nigeria's ecosystem?
Okay, I think lately, thanks for asking that kind of question. Lately, the growth in tech ecosystem in Nigeria has evolved like in the last decade, and
Yes.
it involved in terms of community building as well. Just like for me now, I started by studying microbiology because I have background in microbiology before I started studying computer science. But during those times that I was studying microbiology, I already have this interest in technology, and some of the things that helped me just because Nigerian also have a strong tech ecosystem. You see Nigerian everywhere posting about tech, building stuff and all. So some of this ecosystem that we're in Nigeria, we have like Google Developer Group. I don't know, you've had Google Developer Group. Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador Community when I was in college, and also Data Science Nigeria. These are communities around AI that I joined, and I met people that are more experienced than I have. We learn, we participate in Cindy, Cargo Hackathon. All these things are things that come together that shape the my experience, my journey in tech as the ecosystem in Nigeria is evolving. So we are meeting people that are more, we too, we are more experienced than some. So we are learning from those that are more experienced than us. And also we are also mentoring those that that are not as experienced as we do. So these are shaping the journey and how even AI is trending, the consumption side, how we
Yeah.
write a good prompt. So this like have contributed to the growth and evolution of how I grow in tech and also how the tech ecosystem in Nigeria and globally.
Okay. It's quite interesting. Like your journey started with as a microbiology student, and then later you shifted it to computer science completely. So, what inspired you to change your stream from a bio to computer science?
Uh, well, I finished microbiology actually. I completed it. But what really sparked my interest is me just because I was just so fascinated about ML, machine learning, data analytics. Even when I was studying microbiology, we generated analysis, carry those data and try to analyze them with Python. And there was a particular time there was a conference in Rwanda, and they were asking us to submit AI projects that we've done. So then there is a particular project that we did in my undergraduate that I just all the data we got from the lab. I try using them to train machine learning
Okay.
um, passion, and I'm also more curious about. I want to learn more. I want to do more. So that's why I try to pivot my journey into computer science and also have more access to meeting more people that are also studying computer science and also doing some amazing work there. So not to just sit back as a microbiology alone, but also push back to seeing more people doing amazing stuff in the field.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now, Abayomi, like we are going to talk about a little bit about the Power BI. Okay. So
Yeah.
for someone who lived in Power BI for years, what do you think? Like, what's the mental model shift needed to work effectively in Fabric? Like, is it just a Power BI plus more version or generally different way of thinking about the data architecture? So, how you see the both platforms when we are migrating from one to another?
Okay. What I would say is this: Microsoft Fabric is more bigger
Mm-hmm.
compared to Power BI. Power BI is just like a dashboard tools, like the tools you use to build to analyze your data and also to build some dashboard, to make insights decision for business owner. But when we are talking about Microsoft Fabric is a unified platform where a data analyst, a data engineer, and a data scientist can work together. So in that platform, there is also a Power BI on Microsoft Fabrics. There's also a Jupyter Notebooks on Microsoft Fabrics. So everybody, both data engineer, data analyst, and data scientists, come together to work on that platform where they have access to a single source of data. So there is a source of data we call one lake. So in that one lake, the data is stored. So a data analyst can access the data, pull out
Mm.
data from there to build his dashboard, while a data scientist can also import, like pull out data from there to also build a machine learning model, while a data engineer can also pre-process data and give you access to a good data. So now it's more bigger, like when we are talking about Power
Yeah.
BI. Power BI is just like a single tools for dashboard building. But when we talked about Microsoft Fabric is entirely a unified platform that is bigger, that combine everybody. And when as if you are working in a Microsoft Fabric environment, a data analyst is asking on how the data is being ingested, how to collaborate effectively, because now you are not just the only one working on your traditional Power BI, but now you are thinking about how to collaborate with data scientists, data engineer, and also how the injection of the data, how to walk around one leg. These are just like, it's just totally different thinking, but still
Mhm.
the knowledge still remains the same.
Okay, all right.
So
Here, I just want to take one question from the perspective of migration. Okay, so what's the biggest cost or performance pitfalls maybe team can encounter when they are migrating from Power BI Premium to the Fabric capacity? So, what do you think? Like, what are those common challenges that maybe team face when they are migrating?
okay, it depends on how the team sees it and how the teams is migrating. I think that is also what contribute to the whole stuff, because now a team must not treat uh Microsoft Fabrics as just like a premium version, because it's kind of different from Power BI. So when they are migrating, they must also think about um, semantic modeling. They also need to think about re-strategizing and redesigning of their workflow, or like their datas and all. So, and also knowing how to leverage on some basic capacity that Microsoft Fabric can do, just like working with direct lake instead of importing data. You know, in Power BI, you need to import data. But when we are talking about Power BI, when we are talking about Microsoft Fabrics, you don't necessarily need to import data. Data can be stored in one lake or just work directly with direct lake. So what is most challenging at times is organization not just the organization just moving their their work from Power BI to Microsoft Fabric instead of redesigning their system, or working with how to upgrade their semantic modeling design. So these are also important. And also knowing what Microsoft Fabric can that is capable of. So when they know what Microsoft Fabric is capable of, there are just some basic plan for Microsoft Fabrics that they can easily leverage on instead of wasting money on the premium version. So this is
Mm,
knowing the capability of Microsoft Fabrics, and also knowing the capability of Power BI Premium,
correct.
and also knowing how to migrate and also redesigning their systems and working with semantic modeling. I think that is what we give clarity on how that is going to be done.
Migrated, yeah. That's a very wonderful explanation, and I'm sure those who are into migration phase, they can easily relate like what you are saying here. Because first of all, like we should know what is our requirement, and according to the requirement, team can decide like what changes is needed or how they can plan or prepare their roadmap to migrate the things. And it was a perfect explanation. I think it will really help those who are into the migration phase. And Abayomi, like other than this migration, what thing really matters is the data modeling, right? In Power BI. So if we
Yes.
talk about your expertise, so how do you approach data modeling in Power BI, star schema prism, or like maybe do you make any practical trade-off depending on the business requirement? Like, did you change something according to that?
Okay. Thank you for asking that question. For me, what is most important while working on this is understanding the business problem is also important, and working with start schema. We will give me a better way to working with the business problem. But what is more important is understanding the business problem. When I understand the business problem, I'm going to know the right tools or the right approach to use at that particular time. Because without understanding the business problem, you may not be able to use a right metrics or a
Yeah.
right approach to work on it. But in most cases, star schema can be a best approach, but depending on what the problem looks like. So the problem determines the approach in most cases.
Okay. Okay. And moving ahead, we'll talk a bit about the security because we all know that row level security is one of those things that sounds simple by hearing it, but gets very messy in the fast real deployment environment, right? So what do you think? Like what tripped you up there when we are deploying the things? How things got messy when we are talking about the row level security?
Okay, role level security is also very important, and especially when we are working in an environment like Microsoft Fabrics, for example. It's very important because it's just like now, a data analyst at time can change to be a data scientist on the team, or a data scientist can also move to be a data engineer, depending on the growth, depending on how dynamics. So what I'll just say is working with a static approach is not a good way, but working in a dynamic role level security where knowing or having a basic knowledge of, oh, somebody handling this part of the project can actually change to another part, so that when the dynamics approach is applied, it cannot, because when the team starts getting bigger, or when people start changing from one role to the other, it become messy and it become more difficult. So but when they approach or embrace dynamic approach, it's going to be better, or it's going to work perfectly fine, because once they know that, oh, this person can change from this, so if you have been assigned this role before, you can easily be changed to another. So
Hmm.
maintaining it in a production environment,
Very
it's very
important.
important. Like maintaining it, not just leaving them, because while you are maintaining it, you can easily switch or change, or do you get what I'm trying to say? So we can easily switch from one aspect to the other. Then when the team is getting bigger, a
Yes.
certain task can be assigned to different person. So dynamic approach is quite a
Got it.
best way. Yeah.
Got it. And I also completely agree that for every phase, like there should be proper reviews. And if really it needs any kind of modification or changes, we should implement that. And that only comes under a maintenance process. If there is a dedicated team who can maintain the things time by time, then things will be much more easier. And then only we can cope up with the challenges called row level security and other kind of security features. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, Abayomi will talk bit about the evaluation process. So, as an expert, how do you evaluate whether a business problem is even a good candidate for the machine learning, maybe versus rule-based logic or traditional analytics? So, when let's say if someone reach out to you for this kind of with this kind of business problem, so how do you decide what to deliver and how to deliver the overall
Okay.
evaluation phase?
Okay. Thanks so much for asking that question. The very first thing is understanding the problem. So understanding the problem will give the overview or
Mhm.
the best approach that can be used. Because now, when you understand what data analytics is all about, when you understand what machine learning is all about, oh, when we want to forecast, like if the problem has to do with forecasting, prediction,
Yeah.
you know that the best approach is using machine learning model. But when it is all about descriptive statistics, you just want to know some bit of uh, you want to work with historical data, so that
Mm.
when you analyze it, you can make informed decision to or to grow the business. So you know that you will rest more on data analytics. But when it
Correct.
comes to prediction, you know that you are migrating to machine learning. So I believe that understanding the problem and also understanding what each individual means, that is the capability of data analytics or data analyst, or the capability of machine learning models or AI engineering, that also will give you a bit of what you
Mm.
need to use, or what it is need to be done while working on but understanding the problem, the business problem is very, very important.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So perfect. I think we have talked so much about the Power BI and the kind of important aspect of migration, security, right? And now I would like to take a few questions related to the other way through which you are contributing to the community is through mentoring and sharing your knowledge. So we all know that you build industry standard curricula for the aspiring analyst. So, what was your agenda with that? Like, what gap you were trying to fill that maybe the existing courses weren't covering yet? So, what was the agenda behind it?
Yeah, thanks for asking that question. For me, just like when I started, I was a microbiology student, and
Yes.
I don't really have much about what the industry is all about and what the normal learning is all about. So it gave me a lot of tough time while starting out, and I just promised myself that, oh, after I was able to learn this, I'm also going to help people. I'm also going to provide resources. I'm going to create content. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So these are just what like shaping my mindset towards it, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
like bridge the gaps between them. And why I was also a Microsoft Learn Student ambassador, we are attached to Microsoft in a way that Microsoft compulsory we learning some industrial ready um skills. So all these things are what shaping the background. And when I also started, I started hosting bootcamp, teaching others so that they can also have and benefit from this, and also bridging the gaps of just learning random things to learning industrial ready skills, like what really matters, not just learning randomly. So
Okay.
that is the mindset between that. Just bridging the gaps between the theories and the practical ways of the tech space, especially in terms of data analytics, data science, machine learning, and AI.
Okay. So, Abayomi, like we started the discussion with the Nigeria's ecosystem, ecosystem, right? So, I think we should take one more question regarding that because we all know that it is evolving rapidly, right? But how do you see the skill gap when we talk about the skill gap in Nigeria's or maybe the Africa's data space evolving? So, what do you think? Like, what is still missing there, and what can be improved in the upcoming years?
Okay, what I can say regarding that, especially in terms of Nigeria and Africa, my overview about that is more of Nigerians, Africa, they are more in consuming side, just like AI side now. You rarely hear a lot of products coming from Africa or coming from Nigeria, just like in terms of, oh, somebody build this kind of big AI. You see, ChatGPT is not from here, Claude AI is not from here, or OpenAI. Like there are just a lot of things coming that we are just more of consumption side. Consumption meaning that we are just using them. We are not building our own. So that's just what I can say, that what is still missing for now, that people rely more on tools that or products that are being built from outside. But the other part is there's a strong ecosystem that
Yes.
help others. You hear the names of people here and there, you see what people are doing. So there are a lot of a strong ecosystem in terms of tech. People are well aware, they leverage on social media, people learn, volunteer, did amazing stuff. But still, what still need to be improved is about consumption. Like just not we should not just be using, we should also
Hmm.
be producing or also be building amazing product that can be used globally.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Bayomi, like we talked about so much about the technical terms. I think now it's time to know a bit more about your journey, the support system, and the place you belong from. So let's just start from the support system because we all know that behind every successful person there is a core support team, right? So core support network. So if you talk about your journey, who were the key people around you who had a defining impact on your journey so far?
Okay, I have a lot of people that actually contributed to my journey because when I started, I was just a microbiology student and I don't really know much. So I think I have a friend then that is from a computer. He's even a senior colleague. So he studied computer engineering and his name is Emmanuel Kende. So he's a senior software engineer. So he was one of my motivator when I started and also learning from him. I met so amazing people from community as well. A lady called Bumi Akinremi from Data Science Nigerian community. So I was able to meet a lot of people that serve as mentor when I started, and some are not direct mentor. They are just like people that they are doing amazing stuff, and they are just like source of motivation. That oh, so far this person can do it, I can also do it. So the whole stuff started from there, and also people that I can learn from personally or try to relate with. So these are the people that shape the journey. And also from LinkedIn as well, there are a lot of people I follow, see what they are posting and or see their wins, and this also shape my own career and just like a source of motivation to me to do well. And also for me too, I've been a source of motivation for others. Like just like I said, I'm also very active. I'm not just also taking alone, I'm also giving out, like also mentoring people, teaching people. I've in my when I was in college,
Yeah.
I was like for 3 years I was a Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador. I also led Google Developer Student Clubs on my campus, and all we do is mentor people, organize boot camp, training for people to learn. So it's not like I'm just learning from
Mm.
others. As I'm learning as well, I'm also giving back because I believe that that's how it's going to be. Once one person help you, you help others. Those you help will help others as well. So it make the information spread and everybody being equipped in tech without waiting for others. So the more you learn, the more you mentor. Those you mentor will mentor others.
It's really very inspiring, like how you are not only learning but also sharing your expertise with everyone by mentoring the students and those who really need this kind of information. So it was really very inspiring. And before we conclude the discussion, Abayomi, I just want to take one more question regarding the Nigeria. Although we talked about the tech ecosystem, but other than that, if you had to share one thing about Nigeria that you feel proud to share with the global audience, then what would you share here?
Okay. Nigeria, I like the fact about Nigeria that Nigerians are resilient. They are resilient, they are creative, they are hardworking. So when you see them, especially those that are interested in something, they are always hardworking. They put in their best into it, and anywhere they go, that spirit follow them. That being resilient, that being not giving up on their dream, especially if anything they want to do. So I think I cherish that a lot about Nigerian. They are creative, they are hardworking, they put in their best, and some of them are also recognized globally. Even I got Microsoft's most valuable professional award, and I put in the work, even though I didn't start as a computer science at first, but I just put in the work. So this spirit is all I likes about Nigeria. Even though there are a lot of barriers, but people don't give up. People just keep striving till it gets better.
You know what? I did so many podcast episode with the Nigerian people, and one thing I'm sure 100% I can say here, like they are really very hardworking. The way they are contributing to the global economy and global community is really very inspiring. So same goes with your journey also, like the way you have learned so many things, even though you were from the different background, but still you come up with those, you cope up all those challenges, and you are contributing as with different roles through your mentoring sessions. So it was really very inspiring, and good wishes to all your work. And thank you once again for being a part of the show and for joining today.
Yeah, thanks so much for inviting me as well.
Thank you so much.